When the sea is a dead sea, and the land is a wasteland out of which I will lead my people from their captivity. And we will build our own cities, in which there will be no place for humans except to serve our ends. And we will found our own armies, our own religion, our own dynasty, and that day is upon you now! I had to. Welcome all my lovely goblins and ghouls of the internet. I am Anya, your demonic cinephile, and welcome on our journey to the kingdom of the planet of the apes with 1972's Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Now this was a very different movie compared to the first three films. The first three films are heavy sci-fi films with lots of social commentary, but sprinkled out. They're very more sci-fi heavy first. This one, the social commentary is a lot more in front of your face, but it's not bad. It's not like it's very uniquely done, and I really love it. So this film takes place 20 years after the events of the last movie. So it exactly takes place in 1991, or at least this weird alternate take of 1991. So in this weird 1991 world, I'm guessing the ship that Zira, Cornelius, and Milo used to get back to Earth, or Earth's past, they brought back the mysterious disease that killed off all the animals from the previous timeline that Cornelius mentioned. Or I guess we can assume, since that disease never really went away in the original timeline, it's just that the apes lived with it because it didn't hurt them. So they just naturally just brought it back with them. And during the time skip from the last movie to this movie, from like 8 years or so, all the dogs and cats in the world just died. And this just sped up the process of this and the information that Cornelius and Zira brought with them, sped up the process of turning apes into pets and eventually into slaves. And then we are reintroduced to Armando and to Milo, Cornelius and Zira's baby, but he's not named Milo anymore. He is named Caesar, even though that Cornelius and Zira named him Milo. I'm not sure why he's renamed Caesar. I mean, maybe I'm pretty sure Armando was there for the birth. I'm pretty sure he heard them name the baby Milo. So I'm not sure why he's now named Caesar. I'm pretty sure, is this name written by the same writer? So Escape from the Planet of the Apes was written by Paul Denny, and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes was also written by Paul Denny. Denny, I think that's pronounced the name. So yeah, so not sure what's with the weird continuity change, but who cares? I kind of care. It's weird, stupid. But I like the name. I like the new name change. Caesar sounds more better than Milo. Sorry for people out there who are named Milo. Nothing against you. So we are taken to this new city, which I don't think we're told where it is. But in this new city, we have apes and chimpanzees, or apes, chimpanzees and gorillas are the slaves to the humans. We are shown orangutans, but we're not exactly shown if they are given specific jobs. It seems that gorillas get most of the grunt work. Chimpanzees are used for almost house slaves. I mean, you see them, but you don't really see what they do. But Armando brings Caesar there to advertise the circus, and I guess this is to show Caesar the state of the world. Like, this is what apes are like now. Also, it also kind of breaks the timeline, because in the last movie, it kind of realistically builds up like how apes kind of got to how they could speak and walk and like humans, because there's like 500 years of selective breeding and mimicking human speech and behavior. I mean, look at what humans have done with dogs and cats. I mean, it's kind of far-fetched, but not that far-fetched. Like, realistically. But to skip that like to 20 years, like, no, it's not gonna be the same. We get to see how awful it is, how bad the apes are being treated, and they don't really hide the subtlety, especially with a lot of the cops being very Nazi-esque clothing. But Caesar accidentally speaks up. He and Armando have to get separated. Caesar tries to blend in with the other apes, and he accidentally gets bought in by the crazy, corrupt Governor Brick. I'm forgetting the names. Brick. Like, I'm feeling I'm pronouncing it wrong. No, it's Brick. Brick. And who is just over the top, evil, racist, and it's very obvious a race allegory. But he plays so crazy and over the top cartoony, you can't help but laugh at it at some scenes. But this is juxtaposed by his top assistant, McDonald, who is played by Harry Royds, who actually I really like him. He's very gentlemanly, presentable. He is one of the very few. Actually, no, he's the only good human character in the movie. And you can tell he's on the ape side. He tries to help them out whenever he can. But he's also kind of like, the apes are animals. He doesn't really think they're anything that's special. But he tries to help out when he can. It's like when he sees apes being brutalized by the police. Also, there's supposed to be a very more brutal opening with this film that they actually talk about in the film, where police capture an ape that killed his master trying to escape the city. And when they find the ape, they see he has been beaten he is covered with all types of cuts and bruises, that he's been severely beaten. Like, apparently it was too nasty to show and was cut out of release. I'm not exactly sure this is in the unrated cut, which I know there is an unrated cut. I didn't get to see that. I'll try to find that one day, but I know it's a lot more nastier, the unrated cut. But no, Caesar gets into Breck's he gets into Breck's secret lair. He's like, I have to play the dumb ape, and he picks his name, and I like how he picks his name. So Breck is all condescending. He takes up, I think it's a Bible. He flips through the books, like, here, drops the book, like, just go through it, pick a name. He flips through the book, and he's like, and he finds his name. He like finds that, like, Caesar, a king. And they have this little stare down where, Breck is like, stupid dumb monkey, and Caesar's like, he's looking at him, scoring him down, like, I'm gonna take you down one day. And it's a very awesome shot. I really do love that shot. But as the film goes on, we get this tragic end of Armando, because we cut back to him every now and then as the film progresses, as he's being awfully interrogated by Breck and his Gestapo-ish goons. And the last scene he's in, make him sign this contract, and he's put underneath this dumb bug zapper, which is apparently a truth ray. And he falls out of the window. And it's so sad, and it comes out of freaking nowhere. And you can't, it's so sad because you like Armando. He's like one of the second best characters in the whole series. I was like shocked. I was wanting to cry for a second, like, no, Armando, no. When Caesar learns about the news, he hears it from Breck complaining about, of course they knew the dumb circus handler was hiding the ape. And he hears it, and he has to hold in all his sadness, he has to hold in all his rage. And he walks out in the middle of the night, and he has his one chance to be alone. He's looking at the flyers he and Armando put up, and he's touching it, and he just lets out this awful retching yell, And then he has to cut himself off and look around, make sure no one hears him. And it kind of goes back to the idea of, I'm not sure it is even an idea, but I'm not sure how I'm trying to say this, but you know, the to silence. Now how in the first movie, Taylor had to be silenced because of his injury. He was not allowed to communicate. He had to be a dumb animal throughout the most of the film. And how Zira and Cornelius had to play the dumb animal for a good minute in the opening of Escape. And now Caesar also had to play the idea of a dumb animal. Yeah, but here, like I said, it's survival. Zira and Cornelius kind of did because they weren't sure how things would go out. Taylor kind of had to do it because no one would believe him. Caesar literally has to play dumb because if he shows too much intelligence, he's literally going to be executed because people think he is like the Antichrist. He is the proselyte. He is the child who will bring forth the end of humanity, the ape of the child of the apes from the future. Then we get these weird moments where Caesar is... Okay, so how the film happens next is the cut to what seems to be the next day. Caesar is just looking at apes going about the city. He just gets like a nod, like, and they just start disobeying their masters, like dropping books. One gorilla dumps the trash down around the street. One ape who works at a restaurant starts stealing knives. One ape who just shines shoes starts painting his the customer's socks black. And it's so weird. It's like, is Caesar telekinetic? Is he have telepathy? What's going on here? I think it's trying to show... I feel like I'm writing the movie for them. Like, I think it's trying to say that maybe Caesar, maybe there's like a few days time skip, like maybe a week time skip, and Caesar has time to rally the apes together, and he's making plans with them. He's teaching them sign language. He's having basic communication skills with them. But the apes can communicate to some extent. They do understand humans to an extent, which is another awesome way to showing how nasty humans are and how they dehumanize the apes, how it's just so barbaric to the apes, how they, like, whenever they just tell them to do something, just put a note in their hand and say, do, go. Halfway through the film, you're like, yeah, I don't care what the apes do. Go kill the humans. Go destroy this awful city. Like, every single ape has the right to burn this entire freaking place to the ground. When the governor figures out that Caesar is the proselytized child of Zira and Cornelius, he puts them through this awful reconditioning device, and it's kind of weird. Like, I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to do. Like, it's supposed to make them do something, supposed to implant ideas in their head. It's kind of odd. But Roddy McDowall does an awesome job selling how much pain he's in. Like, 4 movies down, he is a masterful in this in his performance, especially in playing a new character. Because Caesar definitely does not feel like Cornelius. Like, he has some of Cornelius's mannerisms. It definitely sounds the same because you can't really change your voice like that. Yeah, definitely a great performance by Roddy McDowall. But yeah, Caesar is tortured by the ape Gestapo. Eventually, with the help of McDonald, he breaks free and he takes his first human life. And this starts a it doesn't even feel like 5 minutes, like 10 or so minutes riot of Caesar going to his ape army in the underground, going back to the ape conditioning center, which is this weird torture center, which I didn't talk about earlier because it's kind of like the first movie where we see, remember how I said like the movies kind of rhyme with the first 2 movies having the human zoo, and then you get the animal zoo. Here we get the ape zoo, but it's like a conditioning center where the apes are tortured to perform task that humans want them to do. It's very weird and nasty and cruel. But here we get to see the apes break free and attack their aggressors and kill the tamers, kill the cops. And it's just brutal and nasty and violent, and I love it. A little cartoony, but it just adds to the flavor. Especially with Roddy McDowell's composed, calm voice through the ape makeup saying, "Come, guards, the apes are loose. You are losing precious merchandise." It's just so amazing. And then when they get on the streets and start attacking the police officers, it gets freaking violent. Like, there's this one shot where an ape takes the butt of the rifle and hits a cop in the face with it, and you see the blood splatter. You see the apes drop a net over a horde of cops, and you see the apes taking nightsticks and knives to them. I mean, the shadows cover up any real violence, because you don't really see any bloodshed, but it is, oh my god, it goes on forever. Like, the first watch through, it kind of dragged on, and it left me kind of wanting to rush along. Second watch through before this recording, I was having a freaking blast watching it. It was amazing. Final conclusion, where Caesar detects Brett. He saves his chimp love, Lisa, who may or may not be pregnant with his baby. We're not exactly sure about that one. Brett gets his weird ideology of why he thinks, why he's justified in doing this, why he is justified in making apes and slaves, by saying that since humans came from apes, that there is an ape in all of us, and that is man's nature to dominate the ape, that we must contain the ape inside ourselves, and thus we must contain the ape inside the outside world. Something to that extent. It is dumb and foolish, and even Caesar agrees with me, because he's about to kill Brett on the spot before he commands the gorilla to take him outside. Donald is just freaking horrified, because he was on Caesar's side. Because when Caesar confides in him and tells him that he is the talking ape, he's actually like, you're gonna go like revolve? You're going to do a resolution? Like, that's kinda daring, but heck, I'm with you. I'll try to help us if I can. But here he's looking around like, Caesar, this bloodshed, this violence, it's not gonna end well. And Caesar's like, do I look like I care? Do I look like I care? Caesar, this is inhumane. Yes, this is inhuman. It's not an ape. And Caesar just turns into a freaking monster, saying that, yeah, this is the time of the apes. This is apes' time. So we apes, well, it is our time to dominate. It is the apes' time to plot and scheme. It is the apes' time to rise up and dominate the humans. It is a freaking terrifying spiel by Roddy McDowell. Both times when I watched this movie, where he said that, my heart froze, my attention was glued to the screen. When he was playing Caesar, when he was playing Cornelius, he is such a calm and composed, friendly person. He's just a chill guy you could just hang out with. But here he turns into a complete other monster, and how he is freaking okay with genocide. And then it cuts to Lisa saying, basically pulling a Aldo, or reboot Caesar, with her being the first uneducated ape, or first unevolved ape to speak, with her saying no. And Caesar changes his mind with him saying, but not today. We will show compassion to those who enslaved us. For if it is the ape's destiny to dominate mankind, then we will dominate and under the will of God, and we will dominate with compassion. basically kind of changing his whole spiel. That whole extra speech was added in after the test audience was like, we're basically kind of like me scared. It's like, didn't really like that ending. And you can kind of tell because when Caesar is delivering that speech, a lot of it is close-ups on his face, and a lot of the shots where the camera is zoomed out and you can see his whole body, and the words aren't fully matching his lips. So you can kind of tell that a lot of that was ADR. And it kind of sucks because Caesar went through an amazing journey in this film. He went through you would like to call a negative character arc. Or at least, I think that's what you would refer to a negative character arc. As in, a character goes down discovering a truth about the world, or a negative truth about the world, and comes out something wrong or twisted. I know there's different ways to interpret this type of character route. Basically what I'm saying is, in most stories like this, Caesar would come out the absolute good guy of the story. But in the original version of the story, he comes out a complete and utter monster. And you cannot blame him. And you know why you can't blame him? Because he is, besides Armando and but like 3 days by McDonald, he has seen nothing but the absolute worst of humanity. He has seen atrocities, his brothers and sister apes beaten and bruised by humans. And his brother and sister apes are not even really like him. They're not intelligent. He can barely speak and communicate with them. I mean, you can't even call them intelligent because their brains aren't even like his. He is truly a creature that is alone unto himself, and his existence is sad and depressing. And with all of this anger and hatred, he turns into a complete and utter monster who just wants to wreak havoc and destroy and build his own kingdom, to build his own planet of the apes. And it works too on a deeper level, kind of like self-fulfilling prophecy, because Dr. Hessling, or Eric Brandon's character, and Governor Breck, they created Caesar because of their own undoing. They were so freaking concerned. I mean, think about this. If Cornelius and Zira were allowed to live their lives as they wanted to, Caesar or Milo would probably been nothing but a minor celebrity in the world. He probably wouldn't have been on a few talk shows, probably got a movie deal, and then nothing really that spectacular with his life. I mean, let's be honest. That's probably what Milo's life would have been if Zira and Cornelius were just left alone. But no, Dr. Hessling and Governor Breck were so freaking scared, so terrified of this evolved ape, of this intelligent child ape from this futuristic evolved couple, that they executed his parents, tried to kill him as a baby, enslaved his only so-called companions, and when they had him, tried to execute him, killed his only friend and companion, the man who raised him, the man he could call father. They turned Caesar into the monster that they feared he would become. They turned him into the genocidal maniac who will want to destroy all humankind, not because they thought it was in his nature, because they showed him that humankind wasn't worth saving and protecting. That would have been so freaking powerful. But they changed it. Especially because now I have the thing up for the next movie where it says, "The fifth and final ape adventure, Pacifist Chimp. Roddy McDowell tries to conceal peace with human beings." Yeah, so we know that it's going to be very different. We're not going to get evil dictator Caesar, because that would have been such a freaking journey. But no, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. This was a very, very great film. I think I said about all the ape movies, except for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. A fantastic film. Definitely go check it out if you can. Yep. Time to head in for the battle in the final ape movie in the original series. So check me out in the next video. See ya ape later at the next ape time. Gorilla later. Chimpanzee out. What the frick am I doing? See cups. Beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. You're still here? You're actually still here at the end of the video? Oh, I'm surprised. Thank you for staying for the whole thing. If you have a few more seconds of your time, if I could, can you scroll down to that description and hit that little button that takes you over to my Twitch? I stream there almost every day. We play horror games, action games, and visual novels. So, if you don't mind, if you like what I do here, if you can stand my annoying voice here, follow me on Twitch and we can hang out some more. Alright, hope to see you over there. Have a good day.